Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider dropping likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So there's lots to negotiate on this current video today, but I'm going to give you the latest news in regards to Romelu Lukaku as I have been updating you on a regular basis. So according to Sky Sports and all that, and other media outlets, they are now basically saying that Inter Milan are prepared to put in a £60 million bid plus add-ons included sometime this week for Romelu Lukaku. Reportedly, Inter Milan had offered an initial 2-year loan offer worth around £9 million, with then the obligation to buy for the further £60 million. But of course, Manchester United had currently turned this offer down, and with this new offer, that Inter Milan are preparing to put in, more than likely again that Manchester United will currently turn this offer down. But we do know that Romelu Lukaku has been relentlessly linked to move to Inter Milan. Obviously, for the entirety of the summer, Romelu Lukaku has been speaking about a move to Inter Milan, because I do believe that Romelu Lukaku does want to leave the football club. Obviously, we've said we want around 75 or 80 million pounds. So basically, we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago and all that. So basically, Inter Milan are struggling to meet our current valuation, and I still believe it's in Inter Milan's plans. That they want structured payments within the next 2 to 3 years and all that. So I don't think they are willing to get him outright. But Inter Milan have tried to offload a couple of their players, to help them generate funds, to meet that 75 or 80 million pound valuation. But of course, Inter Milan are struggling to do this. But now reportedly they are preparing to put in a new 60 million pound bid, including add-ons and all that. But more than likely, Manchester United will turn this down. But a lot of reports were reflected out last week, saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had held talks with Romelu Lukaku, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was pleading him to stay for one more season now, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is, even though he has initially lost his place in the team. I think Romelu Lukaku, he's unhappy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's unhappy the way that he has been treated in the last 6 months, because obviously, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been recommended in, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference has been Marcus Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and I do believe Lukaku is unhappy about this. Obviously, as he did confirm last week, well, talks have been ongoing for several weeks, between Inter Milan and Manchester United. Lukaku's agent Federico Pastorella has had quite a few talks over Inter Milan. But last week, reportedly, Inter Milan's sporting director had travelled to London to hold negotiations with Manchester United to thrash out a deal for Lukaku. They offered this 2-year loan offer with the obligation to buy, but obviously, Manchester United didn't entertain this offer, because we're only willing to let him, of course, go on a permanent deal. It allegedly said the other month that Lukaku had agreed the personal terms with Inter Milan. It also said he had agreed a contract on that with them, but obviously, like I said, the fee seems to be the stumbling block and all that. I think Inter Milan at the tops are willing to pay in the region of around £60 million, but obviously, this is still around 10 or 12 million, short of our current valuation. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one priority target and all that. Reflected back a couple of years ago, obviously Antonio Conte wanted Romelu Lukaku. This is when he was Chelsea manager, but he ended up making the move to Manchester United and all that. And obviously, Lukaku did say quite a few weeks back, he described Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world, and he's keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance. Is Romelu Lukaku, but he did say that he does currently want to leave Manchester United. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say anyway, for the vast majority of the summer, he has spoken to most of the players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did recently say he's unsure if Romelu Lukaku will leave the football club. I was reading reports out of BBC Sport last week, as I did update you on, and BBC is a very reliable source, and so too is Simon Stones. He's very reliable. He said in Perth that reportedly Lukaku is set to stay at Manchester United, because obviously Inter Milan are struggling to meet our 75 or 80 million pound valuation and all that. But Lukaku, of course, has initially lost his place in the team. Lukaku's agent did say that Inter Milan are desperate to sign him, but he has classified the move as complicated. I think Inter Milan are also trying to offload Mario Cardi. I think he's actually been linked to a move to Juventus. We're also unwilling to accept swap deals that Inter Milan have offered us, because obviously Inter Milan have tried offering us Mario Cardi for Lukaku. They've also tried offering us Ivan Perisic for Lukaku. I think they've also tried offering us Radji Nainggolan for Lukaku and all that. But we are only willing to let Lukaku, of course, go on a permanent deal. And of course, if Lukaku does end up leaving the football club, obviously we are going to need an adequate replacement for him. So reportedly, Inter Milan are set to make this £60 million offer, including add-ons, sometime this week and all that. that, but more than likely Manchester United will not entertain this offer. But Lukaku has still got 3 years left in his contract with the football club. Obviously, he's been at Manchester United 2 years. He was exceptional in his first season, but didn't really replicate that, of course, in his second season. He scored 42 goals in 96 appearances for the club in all competitions and all that. But like I said, Lukaku has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. But like I did say to you guys, I think we need to sell players anyway, to help us generate funds and, of course, rebuild the squad. Obviously, so far this summer, we have spent around £65 million on 2 players. We got Daniel James for 18 million. Obviously, we've got Wan-Bissaka, for 50 million pounds. That's taken out that spend to around £65 million so far this summer. If you want to include the add-ons, that does potentially rise it to around £68 million. And I think, Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka have got all the ingredients required to become huge successes at Manchester United. I do believe, they're going to meet expectation levels at Manchester United and all that. Like I said, there was impressive on their debuts against, Perth Glory at the weekend and they're both very, very young. They're both 21, and obviously, the fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we do know what squad he wants to rebuild. Obviously, he wants to bring in a number of young players that can come in, that can grow, develop, and emulate, of course, in superstars. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy, where that proved successful in that under Alex Ferguson. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Wan-Bissaka is a good player, and I did say, that right back, was a priority. I don't think it's as much as a priority as a right winger and a couple of new additions in that midfield and all that. But Wan-Bissaka, is definitely going to deliver the goods to Manchester United. But like I said, we need more than Wan-Bissaka. We need at least, 2 or 3 more new additions to the squad. I do believe we need an experienced centre-half. We also need a couple of new additions in that midfield, which is also, very imperative. We need a right winger and all that. So these basically, are still lots to address in the squad. And of course, we do need to revitalise the squad and all that. But like I did say, Lukaku is being relentlessly linked to a move to Inter Milan. Talks have been ongoing for several weeks. But now, based on the extortionate amount we've put on him, this means, Lukaku, could remain at the football club at least for 1 more season. But we do know both Pogba and Lukaku have both been relentlessly linked to a move away from the football club. Obviously, both players are our most expensive signings and all that. But like I said, if we could sell them, I think it would help us with our rebuilding process. It would help us with our transition. I do believe we could generate around maybe £200 million for their departures. But I think based on the huge, the extortionate amounts we've put on both players, I think this could be the stumbling block of Lukaku leaving the club, and of course Pogba, of course, leaving the football club and all that. As you did see on the previous video that I did say to you guys, I give you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. I give also the Manchester United Leeds preview. Obviously, Manchester United do play Leeds United tomorrow at 12 o'clock in Perth, Optus Stadium. Obviously, it is our second game of pre-season. Obviously, we got off to a good start of the weekend, beating Perth Glory by 2 goals to 0, which was very, very good and all that. And like I did say, we've got a busy pre-season. We've got Leeds tomorrow. Then we go to Singapore. We play Inter Milan, and I think we've got Tottenham. And I think we also go to China as well after Singapore. I think we've got Christian Sunderland, and I think our last pre-season game, of course, is AC Milan. But Manchester United Leeds is going to be a good game tomorrow. Like updated you on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his press conference has given us an update on the team news and all that. He has basically said everyone did train yesterday, so no one missed a train. I think 24 outfield players trained, including he said plus goalkeepers and all that. He's basically said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that Lee Grant is not fit, so Lee Grant, I believe Lee Grant, won't be participating. Luke Shaw, obviously, he was training yesterday. Obviously, he came off at the weekend against Perth Glory with a hamstring injury, and we do know how imperative Luke Shaw is, because Luke Shaw was very good last season. I think he won the Player of the Year, reflecting on his impressive performances. So it was good that Luke Shaw's injury, was not currently too severe. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said that he may not risk Luke Shaw, so he's not sure if Luke Shaw's going to be playing yet. But Eric Bailly, Victor Lindelof, and Romelu Lukaku are set to make their first appearances on tour, because they didn't play, obviously, against Perth Glory. But I think it's confirmed Bailly, Lindelof, and Lukaku are fully fit and all that, which is very, very good news. But yeah, he had said quite a few stuff in his current press conference. Obviously confirmed with David De Gea that he's going to be playing tomorrow, because he also didn't play against Perth Glory. And he's indicated out that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that David De Gea is closer to signing a new contract with Manchester United. Now, basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it's up to David and the club, to announce his new contract term and all that. But like I said, very, very happy about this. I think David De Gea is set to sign a new 5-year deal worth around £300 350 grand a week. Obviously, this figure is going to make him the highest paid goalkeeper in world football, and he's going to get around the £150,000 pay rise, because on his current deal at the moment, he's on around 200 grand a week and all that. But I'm very, very happy about this, and I know how imperative David De Gea is. We've been in several talks of trying to get him a new contract, at least for the last 18 or 19 months. And it was looking likely at one point we wasn't going to progress in contract negotiations. At one point, it was looking very likely he was, going to be departing the football club, because for a long, long time the club were not willing to meet his wage demands. But obviously, it has updated in the last few weeks that Manchester United, now there's been a change of senior. We're willing to pay him 350 grand a week that he has been demanding for such a long time. Obviously, it did say the other week that there was breakthrough in negotiations, between David De Gea's agent George Mendes and the club and all that. So he's set to sign a 5-year deal, which will take him under contract around 2024. And it'll take him to the age of 33, the age of 34 and all that, and he's going to get around 350 grand a week. So it'll make him one of the highest paid at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez and all that, which is very, very good news. And I think he's set to, it's around £91 million he's going to be earning over 5 years. But like I said, we allegedly had 300 grand a week for David De Gea on the table at the turn of the year. But obviously, this is too insufficient for David De Gea. But David De Gea has been at the club 8 years, so he has been a fantastic servant here. Reflecting on his impressive performances, he's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 6 years. Obviously, he's won everything here domestically. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. He wasn't too good last season, David De Gea. He was making mistakes towards the back end of last season, but I think that was mainly to do with the contractual situation and all that. But he is, still potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. We do know David De Gea was linked to a move to PSG. Obviously, PSG were in for him, and they actually stepped their interest up in David De Gea. Especially when Buffon left PSG. Obviously, Real Madrid, have been linked to him for a number of years. Like I said, in 2015, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. And I think also, Juventus winning there for him. So very, very good news about David De Gea and all that. But like I said about pre-season, I really like it a lot, because obviously, it gives the upcoming players a chance, to get a bit more experience under their belt. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway is going to give everybody the opportunity, like he did say when he even first came in as Manchester United manager last season. He was going to give everybody the chance, and he did. The fringe players, the young players, the experienced players and all that. So also, that's very, very good news. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, we don't need to sell players. It's also something else he mentioned in his press conference, but he says he's very adamant that we haven't received any bids for our current players. But what he's basically saying is, there has been a lot of speculation, this summer about, players coming in, of course, players going out and all that. So these are some of the stuff, he currently said in his press conference. But good news is, Bailly, Lindelof and Lukaku are going to make their first appearances. All right. Are going to make their first appearances tomorrow against Leeds United, which is very, very good news. Like I did say on my previous video, this is the 110th meeting, between Manchester United and Leeds and all that. Obviously, we've played 109 times, Manchester United and Leeds. Obviously, we've won 47, they've won 27, and of course, I think there has been around 35 draws and all that. Like I said, this is the first meeting between Man United and Leeds since 2011. Of course, when we obviously, beat Leeds in the Carling Cup 3-0 at the time. This was around 8 years ago. Obviously, their biggest in 2010 in the FA Cup 1-0, Jermaine Beckford scored. I think the last time Leeds win the Premiership, was back in 2004, so that's the last time we played them in the Premier League. Obviously, they haven't been in the Premiership for 15 or 16 years now, but I do believe Marcelo Bielsa is actually, further ahead in his development with Leeds, and, then we are under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that. But I do believe, it's going to be a very good game. Like I did update you with Fred and Darmian and Henderson. Obviously, they're set to link up with the squad when we do go to Singapore. Obviously, Fred and Darmian haven't come to Australia, like I said, with family reasons. I think Fred's obviously being married, or is getting married, and not too sure with Darmian. I think he's is something to do with family reasons as well. With Darmian, I do believe the club need to sell Matteo Darmian and all that. I do believe we also need to sell Marcus Rojo. So I think if we can sell Darmian and Rojo, we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their departures. Because I think they've both enjoyed their difficult times at the club. Mainly with Darmian, he hasn't really been given a chance, and with Rojo, his career has been Manchester United career has been badly affected. The amount of current injuries he has currently sustained and all that. But we do know since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, Valencia's left the club after 10 years. Obviously, Ander Herrera, of course, left the club on a free transfer, so obviously we are going to need a replacement for him. And obviously, Mario Fellaini, left back in January. So like I said, still lots to address in the squad. Leeds have had a good start to pre-season. They've obviously won their first 2 games. They beat York 5-0. Obviously, they recently beat Geisler by 2 goals to 1 and all that. I think they were knocked out of the playoffs last season by Derby, because I thought Leeds were actually going to come up last season under Marcelo Bielsa. I think also Marcelo Bielsa was actually, worked alongside Pep Guardiola and all that. So I actually can believe that Pep Guardiola is actually, following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy and all that. But yeah, he's done really well with Leeds, to be quite honest with you, as Bielsa. I think he recently got his contract term extended, I think, by another year, if I'm currently right. But I probably do believe Manchester United are going to have too much for Leeds. But it probably is going to be a difficult game. We know Victor Lindelof's going to be staying at the club now, I think. Obviously, there was room, I think he's dismissed speculation about him going to Barcelona, because reports came out, was it the other week, saying that allegedly, Barcelona, were in there with Victor Lindelof. But I think Victor Lindelof, wants to commit his future with Manchester United and all that. But like they currently say, now I said we need at least 3 more new additions to the squad. There's only 4 weeks remaining this current transfer window, like I said. So I want to give you some news about Harry Maguire, as they have been updating you on a regular basis. So reportedly now we have obviously got to pay a world record fee, for Harry Maguire, to convince Leicester to offload him, because Leicester have said they'll let Harry Maguire join Manchester United or Manchester City as long as Manchester United or Manchester City are willing to pay him a world record fee for the player. So Sky Sports did report out saying that Harry Maguire has told Brendan Rodgers, he's also told his teammates at Leicester that he does want to leave Leicester and all that, so he has blatantly made this clear. But I do believe at this moment in time the valuation seems to be the stumbling block of him making his proposed move to Manchester United and Manchester City, because obviously Leicester have said they want at least £80 million. Obviously Manchester United are not willing to pay him a world record fee for him, so I do believe the valuation does seem to be the current stumbling block at this current present time. Obviously Manchester United and Manchester City have held several talks with Leicester. We've held several talks with Leicester and all that. Obviously, it did allegedly say at the weekend that Manchester United had reached an agreement with Leicester. It reportedly said we had agreed a world record fee of £80 million. It said we pay £60 million up front, with $20 million add-ons. It also said he was set to have his Manchester United medical yesterday and all that. It also did say on Saturday that Harry Maguire was increasingly frustrated. Well, he was infuriated with Leicester. Pricing blocking his move to Manchester United or Manchester City and all that. So he was, very, very frustrated about this. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire, and this is the main factor reason why they've priced him out of the transfer market. This is why, of course, they are demanding an extortionate amount for the player, because Leicester do know how much an imperative player that Harry Maguire is and all that. But Leicester have said, they basically want a world record fee. So if Man United are willing to pay what they're demanding, obviously it's going to make him the most expensive defender in world football. Obviously, the most expensive defender in world football at the moment is Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who, of course, Liverpool paid £75 million back in January 2018 and all that. But I think Harry Maguire, would address our defensive deficiencies, really, really well, because obviously, we have got issues defensively, and I don't think we've really had a defence, to rebuild on, since we had the likes of, Evra, Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Vidic, and all that. I haven't had a really a defence, to really rebuild on, since then, and all that. And I do believe now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified Harry Maguire as his number one defensive target. But I do believe no fee has yet been agreed between Manchester United and Leicester, even though it did allegedly say at the weekend, we had agreed a world record fee of £80 million. Obviously, it's been mainly Man United and Manchester City battling out for his services. Obviously, reflected back a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like the Man City were going to get him. They were going to pay him around $280,000 a week. But obviously, it didn't currently materialise and all that. It didn't currently materialise and all that, because obviously City are not willing to pay, of course, what Leicester are currently demanding. Obviously, we submitted a £70 million bid for Harry Maguire the other week, as you all currently know. But obviously, this was too insufficient for Leicester, because like I said, Leicester wants somewhere in the region from between 80 or £90 million. So we've already had the £70 million bid turned down for Harry Maguire and all that. But like I said, we've identified him as our number one target. I do believe he'll blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline fantastically well, and I do believe he'll complement Victor Lindelof, because Harry Maguire is well Premier League proven. He's well Premier League proven. He's Harry Maguire. He holds his line really, really well. His distribution's good. He's not really fast, but I don't think that's currently an issue. Obviously, he has been at Leicester a couple of seasons. He's made 76 appearances for Leicester in all competitions. Obviously, 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League. He signed a new long-term contract with them last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023. Leicester did pay around £17 million for his services from Hull City back in 2017. So looking at it from a financial point of view, Leicester, will make a huge profit on the player and all that. But he's still 26, still a lot of years ahead of him. Plus, he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United and that this summer. And obviously he's indicated that he wants to go to an elite level football club, Harry Maguire, to rejuvenate his career and of course take his footballing career to the next level. I do believe Harry Maguire's preference was actually to make a move to Manchester City. Obviously that's understandable because City are the dominant force in England at the moment. They won a domestic treble last season. They've won the league in the they've won the league in the last 2 years and all that. And he's keen on playing under Pep Guardiola's guidance. So you can understand why he wants to go to Manchester City because City are strides ahead of us at the moment. But City, of course, are not willing to pay what Leicester are demanding. I think they are willing to match, what we're paying. But obviously, like us, they're not willing to pay, the world record fee, that currently Leicester want for him and all that. I think Mike Phelan's obviously instructed Manchester United to get a deal over the line for him because obviously, during Phelan's short tenure with Hull, he managed Harry Maguire. So Harry Maguire, has played under Mike Phelan's guidance. I do believe Sir Alex Ferguson, wants Manchester United to quickly sign him. But last season, we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League in 38 Premier League games, and that was our highest total, of course, in 40 years. So we've got issues defensively that do currently need addressing. Some Manchester United fans have probably said, we need two central defenders and all that. But we need to see vast improvements going into this season because last season was disappointing. We finished sixth. We didn't win many silverware and all that. So we need to see vast improvements, of course, going on into this season without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, hopefully we can get the deal over the line for Harry Maguire. So if we did get him for around £80 million, that'll take our spending so far this summer up to around 145 or £155 million, somewhere of a figure like that anyway. Because obviously we've already spent £65 million so far this summer on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka. But like I said, there's been other central defenders on our agenda. There's been talks of Issa Diop. We've stepped our interest in Issa Diop for the last few weeks. Obviously Koulibaly's been on our agenda for quite some time, but I don't think I'm sceptical about Koulibaly coming in because I think Napoli are reluctant to offload him, and I think the only way Manchester United could get him is if we was willing to pay an absolute extortionate amount for the player. So if we're willing to pay silly money, we may get him then. But I think now Koulibaly to Manchester United is definitely not going to happen. De Ligt, I think, is going to Juventus, so De Ligt to Man United is not going to happen. He's out of the equation. There's still people talking about Toby Alderweireld from Tottenham. Last summer we was willing to pay up to £100 million for a central defender because last summer it was our number one target, to get a central defender, and it was a priority. But reflected back last summer under the Jose Mourinho era, the board weren't backing the signs that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. And Harry Maguire's been relentlessly linked to a move to the club anyway, because one of the players Mourinho wanted last summer, of course, was Harry Maguire from Leicester. But I do believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United. I think he's regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League. Virgil van Dijk is the best central defender in the world. I hate to say that because I'm a Manchester United fan, but I also like to give, my honest current opinions. But there's been so many central defenders on our agenda. We do know how essential it is that Manchester United, of course, do need to get a midfielder in. That's also, very, very essential. Regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I think it's still in our plans, to actually, get two new additions in that midfield. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes' transfer saga, to Manchester United, does continue to persist and all that. I think now Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United, could be off now. If we do get this deal over the line for Harry Maguire, is this going to have a bad effect on, Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United? Obviously, Sporting Lisbon have quoted out there, want around £70 million. Manchester United are not willing to pay this figure. We're only willing to spend at the most on him £50 million. So we're happy to pay £50 million. Reports came out yesterday saying that we had submitted around a £50 million bid for Bruno Fernandes. But I think this is going to be too insufficient for Sporting Lisbon. I think, Ed Woodward now has said no to Bruno Fernandes. So I think the Manchester United board feels as though that is too expensive. We're only willing to pay £50 million for the player who's got little experience of playing to the highest level. And let's be honest, he hasn't really got the experience of playing to the highest level, but still a very, very good player is Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes wants to make the move to Manchester United because I do believe he told his representatives, Bruno Fernandes, that he wants to make the move to Manchester United. He's also held negotiation with his agent discussing a potential move to Manchester United. We do know Tottenham and Liverpool have been in there for Bruno Fernandes. They've held talks with his agent because Bruno Fernandes' agent was allegedly in the UK the other week to allegedly thrash out a deal and that with Manchester United. But like I did say, I think the fee seems to be problematic. That's the stumbling block of him making his move to Man United because reports did indicate out a couple of weeks ago Well, we've held several talks with Sporting Lisbon anyway, but reports did say a couple of weeks ago that, we'd agreed the personal terms with Bruno Fernandes, we'd agreed the contracts, but obviously, no feet has yet come to an agreement. But Sporting Lisbon's president, Federico Varandas, he said there has been talks with, Bruno Fernandes about his future and all that, and he's confirmed he does want to leave Sporting Lisbon to obviously rejuvenate his career and, of course, take his footballing career to the next level and all that. And he has been one of our priority targets, and for the entirety of the summer, Bruno Fernandes has been linked to move to Old Trafford. I think with the situation about Paul Pogba, I don't think that's having any effect of Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. So Bruno Fernandes move to Manchester United, of course, is not dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba. But Bruno Fernandes, 24 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him, can create chances, really good player, can score goals, tenacity really, really good, work ethic really, really good. And these are the stuff, that he would bring to Manchester United. So he would, without Paul Pogba, we're looking balanced in that midfield. But if Bruno Fernandes came in, we'd look well balanced in that midfield. He'd bring that creativeness in that midfield. His initial release cost is £88 million. But obviously Manchester United are not determined to go anywhere near that current figure of what Sporting has been currently demanding and all that. Like I said, he signed a 5-year deal last summer, so he's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. Obviously, Sporting Lisbon, he's been there a couple of seasons, 31 goals last season in all competitions, I think it was, in around 50 games. Obviously, when he was younger, he spent the majority of his career in Italy, with the likes of Sampdoria, Udinese and Novia and all that. But I like Bruno Fernandes a lot. But if we do get the deal offline for Harry Maguire, this now could have an effect on Bruno Fernandes coming to Manchester United. But Ed Woodward has actually said no, but I still believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on recommending, Bruno Fernandes in and all that. But like I said, I've already updated you on haven't I? There's been so many midfielders on our current agenda. I spoke to you guys a lot last week about Milinkovic Savic from Lazio. There was talks a couple of weeks ago about Sol Niguez. These are potential targets who could replace Paul Pogba if he does leave. Obviously, I give you an update a lot last week about Mario Lemina from Southampton. I don't think Manchester United are no longer in for him and all that. But there has been so many midfielders, of course, on our current agenda. But you've got the likes of Fred. Fred is sceptical about Fred if he's a long-term solution for Manchester United. We've got McTominay where I think McTominay will probably get better because he's going to gain a bit more experience, during these pre-season games. We've got Matic, but he isn't getting any younger. He's getting too old now. He's too slow. He's too ineffective in that midfield. So that midfield area is one of the pivotal areas, of course, where we have got to strengthen up. And with the situation with Paul Pogba, I think he could now stay at the football club because initially we demanded an extortionate amount for him anywhere. This is a stumbling block of him leaving Manchester United. We initially said, we was adamant that he wasn't for sale, but he did say we probably would accept a bid in the region of 150 million. But more reports reflected out over the course of the weekend saying now, we have risen our asking price up to £180 million. So reportedly, we want double than what we paid for him from Juventus 3 years ago and all that. But now Paul Pogba, could be remaining at the football club. And I'm reading reports over the weekend. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed that he has considered Paul Pogba for the captaincy at Manchester United next season, probably in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club, despite Paul Pogba's desire, to currently quit Old Trafford and all that. We do know Pogba's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid and, of course, Juventus. But I do believe for quite some time, Paul Pogba's first choice preference, of course, has been Real Madrid. But this and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I do believe, has held talks with Paul Pogba in regards to his long-term future, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much an imperative player he is. I do know it's going to be hard for us to attract players to elite level because we're not in Champions League football for next season. It's also going to be hard for us, to convince our imperative players and that to stay at the football club. But Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola did say the other week that Paul Pogba is in the process of leading the club. He was absent from pre-season training the other week. Was Paul Pogba, but like I said, he's being subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation as Paul Pogba. I did say if he leaves, obviously, we're definitely not going to need an adequate replacement for him and all that. With Sanchez, I think he's going to continue planning his trade with Manchester United going on to this season because obviously we've for the entirety of the summer, we've been trying to get rid of Sanchez, but I think the club have found it very, very difficult, reflecting on his substantial wages and all that. So I do believe Sanchez is going to be staying with the football club. Obviously, as well, we've sorted the contract issues out. Obviously, we've got Pereira, a new contract last week, was it? Alex Tuanzebe, a new contract last week. We've got Rashford, a new contract the other week, 4-year deal with an option to extend it by a further year. Rashford set to earn around 200 grand a week, with bonuses included I think it's set to rise to around 300 grand a week. Juan Mata signed a new contract a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, you know, like I said, with De Gea's on the verge of signing a new contract term and all that. Martial signed a 5-year deal back in January. McTominay got given a new long-term contract last season. Smalling and Jones both got given new contracts as well, which was bad business for Manchester United. You know, Ash Young, of course, has signed a 1-year extension. So like I said, like I told you on my last video, I think, you know, regardless of who our manager is, you know, analysing our current squad at the moment, you know, it isn't actually, you know, good enough. It isn't good enough, you know, to be competing up there and winning, you know, the Premier League and all that. So we need to add more more additions in that current squad, because it isn't potentially good enough. And even if we had a manager to the highest level, you know, that we would, you know, to the highest level, prime example, Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp and all that, you know, the top, you know, managers to the highest level, they will still struggle with that current Manchester United squad and all that, because it isn't potentially, you know, good enough at the moment. There's only just like under 4 weeks remaining now, of course, in this current transfer window. But hopefully Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can get Manchester United, you know, back to glory, and I hope he can exceed expectation levels at Manchester United and all that. I do believe our expectations going into this season probably will be to finish in the top 4, but I do believe our aspirations will be that top 4 for the next couple of seasons, because analyse it at the moment, City strides ahead of us, obviously, you know, Liverpool and that strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up there with like Manchester City and Liverpool and all that. But yeah, like I said, lots needs to be addressed in this current Manchester United squad. Obviously, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as well as Manchester United manager. But we will see what happens. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on this channel. And if you do, consider subscribing as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.